Hello everyone, it is Chastity White Rose again, and I have a very fun live stream planned for tonight while I walk to work, as I always do. I walk to work at Walmart, and I do Instagram live streams. I actually am doing this almost daily. In fact, I've even considered leaving for work sooner to give myself a little bit more time to do it. But I had a hard time waking up, guys. I really did, and I had to take some ibuprofen. I hurt myself bad at work Saturday night. Oh man, it was sad. So here's the thing. I am a member of the Rainbow Pro-Life Alliance, and there is an Instagram group chat. It's kind of not an official, it's just kind of an informal thing where the people who follow the Rainbow Pro-Life Alliance, they talk in there, and they talk about some funny stuff sometimes, because they'll talk about pro-life stuff and about abortion and what's happening with that. They'll talk about LGBT topics because we're the Rainbow Pro-Life Alliance. We respect the rainbow people. I am one of the rainbow people, and if you don't know that, then you haven't been paying attention. But here's the thing. So sometimes there's funny memes. Sometimes there's some funny stuff we talk about in there. So the topic turned to dating criteria, okay? Dating criteria. So like if you were going to have a romantic relationship with someone, what are your dating criteria? And I thought, okay, this is a funny topic, guys, because anybody can answer this. If you ever see this video, I'd like you to comment your dating criteria, like your list of things that your romantic partner would have to have, your future spouse, that it could, a fictional person, So, I shared in the chat my dating criteria. Okay, so pay attention. So, number one, they gotta be vegan, okay? They gotta be vegan. If they're intentionally murdering animals when they know better by, paying for products that result in the enslavement and torture and killing of animals, then there's no relationship to be had. You know what I'm saying? So number one, they gotta be vegan. Number two, they gotta be pro-life, okay? So, now let me clarify the pro-life part, okay? Pro-life, to me, my definition for pro-life for the purposes of my life and this Instagram live that I'm doing is pro-life doesn't mean just that you think abortion should be illegal. It can include that, of course, but that's not what being pro-life means to me. That's anti-abortion. But being pro-life to me is to, hello Anna, thanks for joining me. You know the fun RPLA chat where we share our dating criteria and funny stuff like that. Oh man, it's hilarious. But so I was talking about being pro-life and what it really means to be pro-life. Being pro-life means to be pro-life for the whole life, not just against abortion. Because if you stop caring about someone just because they're born, and all of a sudden their life doesn't count anymore because they're born and someone's killing them, and you don't care about that, then you're not pro-life. You're maybe anti-abortion. And unfortunately, as I had to tell a fellow board member of the Rainbow Pro-Life Alliance, that pro-choicers often accuse pro-lifers of only caring about the unborn and not caring about anyone after they're born, and to not let them be correct. Because too often they are correct, and people are so narrow focused on the abortion issue, and they don't care about that same person after they're born, which is hypocritical. Yeah, Anna says, amen. Yeah, I will preach this from anywhere. Seriously, you have to be pro-life for the whole life. Because if I didn't care about those already born, I wouldn't call myself pro-life. And if I didn't care about those those people after they're born, then I wouldn't care about them before they were born, and I'd be pro-choice. Okay? And if I was pro-choice, come on, let's be real. If I was pro-choice, I would be popular. I would be as popular as Taylor Swift, I swear, if I was pro-choice. which is probably why Taylor Swift is pro-choice, because she wants to retain her popularity. Because a lot of people are pro-choice. And why are people pro-choice? Because, okay, let me put it in my terms. Because of the fact that being pro-choice about abortion, where you think that abortion should be legal and available, well, the reason that people are pro-choice is because they're horny, they want to have sex, and pregnancy and children are the result of heterosexual sex. Therefore, people want to have sex, but they don't want the responsibility of children. And so their plan is to kill the children so they can just keep having sex with whoever they want. Now let me explain this. This is a straight people problem, you know? This is a problem straight people, the heterosexuals have, because the straights are not okay. They are literally fucked up beyond repair. Honestly, guys, the Bible is wrong, okay? The homosexuals are not the abomination you were told. It's the heterosexuals. They are sinful beyond anything I've seen a gay person do. Okay, that's just how I feel. But what the hell do I know? I'm transgender and I'm gay as fuck, but I don't want to fuck. That's the problem. And that is, my friends, why I named myself Chastity White Rose. Because chastity, literally meaning celibacy. My dream was to be a nun, but I'm not Catholic, and I'm trans, so the Catholics hate me anyway. You know, but yeah, I named myself Chastity because it means celibacy. The thing is, I didn't even name myself Chastity because it's a girl's name. Yeah, that's a nice bonus, but it's because of what it means. And Chastity is a girl's name that means celibacy. But did you know that there is no male name that means celibacy? Why is there not a male name that means celibacy? Because the implication and what society believes is that every man wants to have sex all the time, and that they don't care with who they're having sex. And sadly, based on what I hear and read, that seems to be the case. So yeah, men, all they want is sex. And so I figured out a few years back, I don't want sex, therefore I must be a woman. That was part of my coming out story of how I discovered I was transgender. Because if you think about it, well, anyway, I'm getting off the topic, okay? But because I can do a whole other podcast of why women should not have sex with men. I could do a whole other podcast or live stream about that. Oh, I could go forever on that one. But anyway, back to dating criteria. So number one, they have to be vegan. They must not hurt the animals. Number two, they've got to be pro-life. And number three is very important, they must never try to have sex with me. And you might think this is a weird criteria. You might think, Chastity, who would try to have sex with you? Oh my God. There's a story I have to tell. I'm sorry, guys. And I'm sorry, Jessica, but I have to tell this story because this is important. So I have to tell you the story of my ex-girlfriend, Jessica. I have to tell you this story because you have to understand, this is an important part of my story and how I realized who I am, okay? I wish Jessica the best, but what happened is, Jessica found me in an Asexuals Over 30 group. It was the Facebook group Asexuals Over 30. And she saw my profile picture and fell in love with me. Now you have to understand that my profile picture was a photo I had taken with my phone of Fluttershy the pony, the stuffed animal. So basically, Jessica fell in love with the stuffed animal and thought she was in love with me. Okay, she said she thought it was an alien. And so she messages me and tells me that she's in love with me and attracted to me. And I'm like, okay, well, that's nice. Random person I've never heard from before. But hey, let's get to know each other anyway. And so this person, they say they're asexual, okay? And that's how they were in the Asexuals Over 30 group. So I thought, okay, well, this person's asexual like I am, so maybe this will work. Maybe I found someone who won't try to have sex with me. That's the implication, right? Boy, was I wrong. So here's the thing is, this person, I don't know the exact diagnosis of them, but based on experience, I would say that they were probably bipolar or schizophrenic or both. I don't know what they're. I don't want to say it wrong, but just here's what happened. Okay, so this person was on some kind of medication to manage their. I think it was for schizophrenia. I don't remember exactly. Well, this person, Jessica. So first she tried to hitchhike from St. Louis to Lee Summit, Missouri, so that she could meet me. That didn't work out. So then she took a train. So she took a train to Lee Summit. Now, keep in mind, I had mentioned to my mom that there was this person that I was talking to named Jessica, and that she wanted to be my girlfriend. And so my mom knew that, but what neither of us knew was that one night I would be checking my text or whatever it was, and Jessica says, "Hey, I'm at the Lee Summit train station." And I'm like, wait, so this girl took a train from St. Louis, Missouri to Lee Summit, Missouri, just so they could meet me. And I'm like, okay, well, she didn't exactly have our permission to just show up like that. But she had taken a train from St. Louis to Lee Summit. I'm like, okay, I can't just leave this girl at the Lee Summit train station at like 8 or 9 p.m. at night by herself. First of all, someone could attack her. She's not safe being... And, you know, I'm a pro-life person. See, that's what I talk about, being pro-life. I'm pro-life and I care about people's life, health, and safety. So I go to the train station and I meet this person. And first thing she does is she just hugs me as soon as she sees me. And so I had to take her to our apartment where I live with my mom. And I'm like, hey, Mom, I know this is unexpected, but Jessica just showed up on a train, took a train to Lee Summit, and so I guess she has to stay with us because where else is she going to go? You know, and so that's the story of how Jessica came to Lee Summit. So Jessica stayed with us for a few days. Okay, well, but here's the thing is, she had mentioned that she didn't want to take her medication because it made her feel sick. And like, well, okay. I mean, I wasn't going to tell. She's an adult. She's about the same age I was at the time. I was probably 30 years old. I was probably 30 years old if I remember right. This is before coming out as transgender. So she stayed with us for a few days. So, well, she didn't take her medication. Okay. And so she started getting weird. So one day I was laying down in my room. You know, I had gotten home from work and Jessica was there. I guess I don't know where she went during the day. My mom said she went with her backpack and walked around Lee Summit, sightseeing, I assume. But I remember this afternoon where, you know, I was just laying down. I was tired from work, and I was scheduled to do a podcast. And then, before I knew what was happening, I felt someone pull my shorts down. And then what Jessica did, she put her mouth on my penis. And I felt violated. And I said, "What the hell are you doing?" And she said, I'm trying to perform fellatio on you. And she didn't really know what she was doing. She has some kind of mental illness. And I'm like, and so, oh man, I remember I got up real quickly and I told her to not touch me. And I remember that I went to the bathroom. I got like a washcloth or something with some soap, and I washed my penis as much as I could. I was afraid she was going to give me some kind of sexually transmitted disease. She put her mouth on my penis. Like, ugh, that was horrible. So I basically, that's the thing is, that's why rule number 3 is that I need to be able to trust someone enough to know that they're not going to try to touch my body without my consent in any way. And that's the thing. And the truth is, Jessica, she got crazier and was running around naked. We had to get the police involved. It was a sad thing. And I don't really know what happened after that. Sadly, I do hear from Jessica occasionally, and I wish her the best, but we had a bad time. That was a really bad time. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because you have to understand, I have had a complicated past. But see, Jessica, she tried to talk me into having sex with her multiple times, and I always said no. And I was sad. I felt violated. I felt disrespected. And that is because I said I didn't want to have sex. And I told her I'm asexual. That's how we met. I was in the asexual group. That has been a big part of my journey, even before I named myself Chastity. I didn't realize that I was transgender. I mean, I had some hints that I was transgender even when I was in my teen years. But yeah, so it's an important story to tell because this was an important part of my development. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, even though this is a sensitive story, I have to tell this. So, number 3, my dating criteria is they must never try to have sex with me. And that includes, first of all, basically no touching of my body without my consent. It doesn't matter what part, but please just don't touch me, okay? Unless we have agreed upon that it is okay. You know what I'm saying? But even so, I am the vegan virgin, and I will be a virgin till I die. I will be a nun, Catholic or not. I will be a nun. But anyway, moving on to number 4 of my dating criteria. They must play chess. Because I like the game of chess. And one of the most frustrating things in my life is not being able to find someone who wants to play chess with me. That is very hard to find somebody in your local area that wants to play chess with you. You know what I mean? And so I play chess online. I play on multiple platforms, in fact. And so I play chess online because I don't have friends in real life outside of the internet that play chess with me. I've been trying to talk my mom into playing chess with me for my birthday, and she agreed, because, okay, here's the thing about chess. Okay, so, don't misunderstand me, guys. Okay, so, I don't know if this analogy is correct, but chess is like sex. You can try to do it with yourself, but it's only so satisfying. It's much more satisfying when you have a person to play chess with, because chess allows you to view your opponent's mind. Chess is a war of the mind. And as you move your pieces and your opponent moves their pieces, then you start seeing that their thought process, and you can tell, wait, they move this here because they're planning to do this. And I can view the mind of somebody by playing chess with them. And therefore, chess is here's the great thing. So not only, chess is actually better than sex. Not that I would know, because I've never had sex. Not consensually anyway. But chess is better than sex, and the reason chess is better than sex is because you can play chess with anyone who's willing to play chess with you. And yet it doesn't have the same stigma. It doesn't, it's kind of weird. Like this idea that people have weird attitudes about sexuality. They really do. You know what I'm saying? And there's so much that I don't understand about sex because I don't have sex. I don't want to. I want to marry someone but not have sex, because that's just the truth of the matter. Is you have to understand, and I feel like it all makes sense if you understand that I was sexually abused as a child, and therefore I can't be touched. People can't touch me. And a lot of people think that you have to have sex with someone to experience true love. And I'm like, well, I hope not, because I do believe in many forms of love, But that love does not have to be physical. And because of what happened to me as a child, I made a vow in my adult years. I don't remember the exact time. I call it the vow of chastity. And I published a book by that title. I actually published a book on Amazon called The Vow of Chastity. I published a book. I wrote an entire book about all of the reasons I will never have sex. And how many people have done that? How many people have actually written and published a book telling the world that they will never have sex? Well, nobody else has ever done that. Not that I am the one person in the world to do that. To vow celibacy or chastity for life, to name myself Chastity, and write a book about it. But that's what I did. I wrote a book, The Vow of Chastity. And a promise is a promise. And the truth is, that is the best thing for me. I'm not saying that that is the best thing for everyone else, although I believe it is, of course, because I want people to stop having sex so that the human race dies out, so that the humans don't hurt the animals anymore. So yeah, so that's the thing, that is the story of how I became Chastity White Rose. That's part of the story, but it's an important part of the story that had to be told. And I am so glad that I got to do this live stream and share this with you guys, because this is important. It's important to understand these things, to understand who I am as a person, because everything else makes so much more sense if you understand who I am and how I became who I am. But enough about me. What about you? What are your dating criteria? Leave it in the comments below, wherever you see this video. Now I have to go and work all night at Walmart. Thanks for joining, everyone. I love you. Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.